How's it going out there, everyone? Andre Pillow, player development professional at Blythefield Country Club and founder of DNA Golf Instruction. I bet you're wondering why I'm holding all of these items here. They're all used to play sports, and we're going to talk about the similarities of some of these items and golf as we get into today's video. All right, guys, let's dive right into this. As we mentioned before, in my mind, golf is a sport, just like all the others. We have big muscle movements in all those sports. Following through and getting your momentum to the target with the right sequence is important with most sports, just like golf. So let's go through some of the sports and let's have a conversation, and hopefully this helps you. But most of us have been exposed to other sports prior to golf. Golf tends to come into our lives later in life. I was fortunate to play as a junior golfer, but not everyone is. So basketball. If I'm taking this basketball and I'm getting ready to go through a jump shot, and I love playing basketball. God didn't bless me with the ability to be 6'5", so I'm a golf pro, but I do play a lot of basketball. And if I'm going into my jump shot, I have a question for you. What's the first thing that's going to leave this area and go towards the target? Pretty simple. It's going to be the ball itself. The ball is going to go towards the target. Then my lever system is going to follow it, right? And then my body's going to follow that. Okay, so that's the sequence of a jump shot. We get the ball going towards the rim, we follow through, and then our body may follow that as well, right? We never see anybody get their bottom going first and then shooting. We know that they wouldn't be very good, and that's probably why we haven't seen too many people shooting like that. Okay, so keep that thought in mind, keep that visual in mind of the ball going first, the lever system following it, and then the body following through to the target as the last movement there. Okay. Volleyball. Now, same thing. I had a stepdaughter that played volleyball, and if the ball is up in the air, look at where my body is in relation to the ball. Everything is behind it. The energy source is behind the ball, okay? And as we make contact, what's the first thing that's going to go to the target? It's going to be the ball, followed by what? The lever system. And then if we're doing a jump serve or we're doing an aggressive serve, we might see some body action after that, right? Where we see some action of momentum towards the target. So we see that in volleyball. In tennis, there's a couple ways we see it in tennis. Obviously, the ball is moving. Your orientation to that ball is very important. If we're going for a forearm and we hit that, once again, the ball is going to be the first item that goes to the target. The lever system is going to follow it. And then if we can, we're going to get our body to work down that same way. Okay. Now, if we're doing a serve, once again, ball is up. Where's my energy source? Everything is behind the ball. There is no part of my body that's ahead of the ball. The ball is up. Everything is behind. I'm going to hit it with my racket. Ball is going to go first. Lever system is going to follow it. And then my body is going to follow that action to the target. Once again, the momentum of my body is the third thing that leaves that area that we're making our contact in. Very, very important to point that out. Someone throwing a ball, no different. Think of a pitcher on the mound playing American baseball. They get in a position like this. It's kind of their load position. But once they step and get the ball moving towards the target, same thing there. The ball is going to go towards the target first. Then the arm is going to follow. And then what do we see? We see their action. They actually take a step forward after that to get their momentum all the way through. But same thing there. We don't see them step and then throw. We see them get their momentum going, then after that's all gone, then they take that step forward, okay? So the sequence of that is very, very important. And the item going to the target is the main thing. That has got to leave the area that we're starting in first. Very, very key there, okay? Same thing with the quarterback. I think of a quarterback in American football, and when they have a chance to step back and step into their throw, ball goes, arm flows, and then the body kind of follows it after it, right, and they get in a good finish position. But what happens when their momentum is stopped and they don't have that ability to use their body correctly? A lot of times in those instances, they're actually getting hit and they're getting stuck, so their body can't go towards the target. And now they're just left with their small muscles to kind of flip and maybe get to their target, but we know that that's not as strong as it would be if they could step, release, and then get their momentum going down their target line. Okay? So there's a lot of similarities here with this and the golf swing. Now, what I think is most similar to the golf swing in what we're talking about in impact, I think it's an American football field goal kicker or a soccer player kicking a long kick. Why? Just like us, we know that most sports have a target or a destination for the items that we're using. But kicking an item, especially a field goal kicker under a high pressure situation, high focus situation, in a golf swing, we have more than just one target. We have two targets, okay? And this target is more important, and our focus and our energy and everything we do at impact is going to dictate our ability to get our ball down that target. But if we're focused only on that target, we're not going to do the right things to get through the shot correctly in relation to kicking or our golf swing. So a lot of similarities between these two. If I'm going to kick the ball, they come in an angle, right? But if I go to approach this ball, my foot plants, my focus is on the item, right? Front foot is planted. What's going to be the first thing that leaves our hitting area? The ball. What's going to leave after the ball? The ball's going to go, then the foot's going to go. And after the foot goes, then we see the body hop up, or that momentum taking over after that point, right? What we do not see, we never see that kicker get his body so far ahead, like he's going to the secondary target, that he has to come back or do something drastic to get back to that item or that ball. We know that he has to be in line with that ball in order to make the contact, get the ball going in the lever system, and having his body follow after it. Okay? Now think about that in terms of the golf swing. If we think in terms of the golf swing, and that front leg of the kicker in relation to impact, okay? When we're swinging our golf club, we're going to get to the golf ball. What's going to be the first thing that leaves our hitting area? It's going to be the ball itself, then the lever system, and then the body's going to turn to our secondary target, okay? But just like that kicker who's approaching and his left foot is planted until after the action happens, as we swing our golf club down and through, that becomes the post in a place of stability that everything can work around, no different than that kicker, okay? And once again, we talk about momentum, and we know that tour players, as they're working down, they are going to have their hips working open a little bit, right? But the one thing we know they're not going to do is get their body ahead of that box, that hitting area. We know that they're going to rotate, post up on that leg. The ball's going to go first. The club's going to follow. Then we're going to see an element of rotation of the body and really getting the momentum through that shot. Okay? The most important thing to think about there, especially for amateur golfers, you're typically not just opening, but you're opening and getting way ahead because you're so focused on that target. You're not focused on hitting this ball and staying intact with the hitting area, then getting to that secondary target. We're so focused on getting the ball that way that our momentum goes that way. And a lot of times our hands are now ahead and they end up bunched inside because our body is so far ahead of the hitting area. If we're able to stay over that hitting area, we may be able to create a little more extension naturally and get into a little bit better follow through. Okay? So, once again, all of these sports are very similar to golf. And I look for those commonalities with students that I work with. It starts the conversation about what we can do versus what you did in those other sports, what we can do that's similar to those other sports. And golf is a sport. Let's not forget that. Athletic people have a different success and a different way to do things than those that are less athletic. But it is a unique sport in the sense that those that are not athletic or do not have a lot of athletic ability, you can still play this game and have a lot of success. Okay? So that's just a little help with golf as a sport in understanding impact and understanding that no matter what, we want to make sure we stay in our impact zone. That ball needs to leave the impact zone first, the club follows, and then our body goes. No different than any of those other sports that we mentioned earlier today. All right? Thanks for watching, and you have a wonderful day.